Okay, hello, this is going to be a tarot reading on Liam Payne. As always, if you hear anything in the background, just ignore that because that's my dog. So if you don't know what's been going on, Liam Payne did an interview on Logan Paul's podcast and he talked a little bit about One Direction. I didn't watch the interview, but from the clips I saw he was talking about how a One Direction member pushed him against a wall and some disagreements that they'd had, and I'm pretty sure at one point he said that his debut single got 1 billion streams and was the best-selling single out of the One Direction members. Who told him that? Who told him that? Oh, somebody lied to him several times. But let's just kind of look at what his energy is like at the moment. He's in the headspace at the moment, at least from what I'm seeing here. He's in the headspace of just doing whatever he has to get publicity, to get noticed, to get attention, to be more famous. He wants to be, he wants to be the most famous one to come out of One Direction. He wants to be, he wants to be bigger than I think he actually is. And that's not to say he hasn't been successful and he hasn't done well, but I think he wants more. I get the feeling from him that he's kind of a person that just wants more in a few areas of his life. Actually, I don't feel like he can feel very satisfied. I think he's just always looking for the next thing, wanting more attention, wanting more love from relationships, from partners. I feel like he's just always I don't feel like he's ever satisfied with what he has, and he's kind of looking for what will make him feel more satisfied in his life. But yeah, I kind of feel like he's pretty much willing to shoot himself in the foot to get more fame, to get more attention. It's pretty much this energy of he'll do anything to stay famous, to stay in the public eye. He doesn't care what he has to do. It wouldn't surprise me if he in the future started having scandals or acting up. Kind of how Justin Bieber went through his phase where he he had some incidents with the paparazzi, with the mop bucket, all those sorts of little moments. I don't know what you'd really call them, because they weren't really scandals, I guess, but just kind of little rebellious things that happened. Liam Payne's kind of giving me that same energy. And the stuff that he's talking about, I guess the stuff he said in Logan Paul's podcast and the stuff that he's thinking about potentially saying in the future, it's not stuff that he really cares about, if that makes sense. He's not sad about anything that he's spoken about. He's not emotionally affected. He's just kind of oh, these are just the facts. This is what happened. So why can't I talk about it? I went through it. Why can't I talk about it? It's not emotionally difficult for him to talk about. He doesn't really care about these events that he's talking about. But the problem is other people do. I think other people, and I'm assuming this would be his other bandmates, some of the stuff that he's talked about is stuff that they are more emotional about, or that maybe hurt them a bit more in the past, or hurts them to hear him talk about it now. But I just don't get that he cares about the things he's saying. Yeah, he is going to badly affect his personal relationships, his friends, bandmates, romantic relationships. He's going to badly affect them, or at least I feel like he will, going forward. Because I feel like the things he's doing at the moment, so like the interview, all that sort of stuff, the things he's doing at the moment may be making him feel like, oh, I'm getting, I'm getting attention, I'm being talked about everywhere now, he's happy, he's enjoying this. I don't see regrets about saying anything. But the problem is, if he keeps trying to play the role of like, the almost like rebellious bad boy of the band who's coming out and like telling the truth, and he's just being honest about the situations that he went through with his bandmates. Like, if he keeps doing this sort of stuff and just talking about his bandmates and his relationships and stuff, if he keeps doing that, which I kind of think he's on the path, at least right now, to continue doing that, he's going to just like ruin his friendships and his personal relationships. Like, I don't see him being happy personally in the future if he continues to make comments like this. I do know that he had also like a cheating scandal shortly before the podcast came out. I don't see that relationship going any further now. Yeah, I don't. I see it ending pretty soon. I see him moving on pretty quickly too. He just doesn't give me emotional vibes. Like, I think he like moves on from people very quickly. Like, there's something to do with like his emotional connections to people. I just don't feel like I just don't feel like he fully connects with people sometimes. Or if he does, he can get over it very quickly. Like, I don't feel a lot of emotion from him. There's a very strong potential for him to leak kind of more information about those days in One Direction. Pretty strong chance of him doing that. See, the thing is, though, I will say, I don't feel like the things he's saying are lies. I don't think he's lying about anything, or about how he like feels about anyone. I don't think he's not lying about anything that happened or how he feels about people. He's being quite honest, but the problem is it's not stuff that he should be putting out there publicly. It's private information. But he's very honest, sometimes to a fault, I would say. Yeah, he's not like emotionally concerned about repercussions at the moment. He's just kind of like, he wants the big career, he wants people talking about him, he wants money, that's what he's focused on. He doesn't really, I just don't feel like he really cares about his like personal relationships. I kind of see him like thinking of himself as almost like, I don't want to say, not necessarily a manipulator, because I don't really feel like that, but it's almost like he sees himself as being like the chess player, moving all the pieces around the board and controlling the whole situation. Like, I feel like he sees himself like that. I think he thinks, this is going to sound kind of like funny, but I do kind of think he thinks he's a bit smarter than he may actually be. because I don't see this working out for him long term when it comes to feelings and happiness. Yeah, he might get more money, he might get more interviews and people paying him a lot, and like controversy always brings attention, but I don't see it playing out long term for him personally. So now I'm gonna see what the One Direction members, the other ones, thought of this interview. Okay, so this is Zayn's card. I mean, I see Zayn kind of being more focused on his work at the moment. His energy is kind of like towards Liam Payne, at least from this card. What I'm feeling is like him kind of being like, yeah, you should be focusing on your work too. That's what you should be doing. You shouldn't be doing this. You should be working and actually putting some work into your music. I see kind of like passive aggressive energy from Zayn Malik, to be honest. It's not like spiteful energy, but it's just kind of like, yeah, maybe if you put more work into your own music, it would be more successful. Yeah, he's a little bit shady, but I don't see him actually being like particularly angry right now. Harry Styles is the Two of Swords. He doesn't really know what to think. I just kind of feel confusion from Harry Styles, to be honest. I just kind of feel him being like, why is this happening? Why now? What's I don't understand what's going on. It's just kind of, yeah, his energy's just kind of like, why would you do that? I also feel like he doesn't want to hear about it anymore, because I feel like people have been talking to him about it, and he's probably getting like social media mentions and stuff about it. And I'm just feeling from him that he's just like, I don't care anymore. Just stop talking to me about it. I don't want to see the clips from the interview. I don't want to see the interview. Like, just leave me alone. See, Niall Horan is probably, out of all these cards, I'd say Niall Horan is the one that's most annoyed. He feels like it's kind of like a betrayal to go out there and say all this stuff about them. And it's kind of what I was saying earlier as well in Liam Payne's cards. I feel like Niall Horan does kind of think Liam Payne will just do whatever it takes to get what he wants. And if that means saying stuff he shouldn't be saying, then yeah, he'll do that. And Louis Tomlinson feels pretty apathetic towards Liam Payne at the moment. I actually do feel like Louis Tomlinson, like out of all of them, I kind of feel like he's seen the most of the interview, whether that's just clips he's watched or whether he actually did sit down and watch the whole interview on Logan Paul's podcast. I feel like he, out of all of them, saw the most. You feel like Niall Horan and Louis Tomlinson have actually been in contact about this, allegedly. Yeah, I feel like they've actually talked about this. I don't see any communication between like Zayn and Harry, but between Louis and Niall, I see more communication there between them about this whole situation. I also hear from Louis Tomlinson's energy. He's kind of like, well, if there's a reunion now, we know who's not going to be included. Um, he's kind of thinking if there's a reunion, because obviously Zayn left early on. He's kind of thinking if there's ever going to be a reunion, it'd probably just be him, Harry Styles, and Niall Horan. Let me see kind of what the future is, because I know I've seen like people on social media being like, they wanted a One Direction reunion one day and this kind of ruined their hopes. So let me just see like what the future of One Direction, would they ever reunite? And remember, things can change. So just what I see right now is just based on the energy right now. Yeah, it's kind of not looking good, to be honest. They're all in their own kind of world. They're all focused on their own projects. They're focused on the future. I feel like if they did reunite, there's kind of this feeling of like they'd be going backwards in a way. They want to focus on moving forwards. I mean, if anything ever happened, any sort of like, they all got on stage together one night or released a song or just anything about a reunion, it would be quite far in the future, like a good few years, definitely not now, especially with what's just happened with Liam Payne. And I don't know if it would be all of them. I don't know. But at least from Louis Tomlinson's energy, it wouldn't. So yeah, it's not looking good. But who knows, maybe in 10 years they'll all forgive each other and get over whatever's gone on. But yeah, that's kind of what I see for Liam Payne. So thank you for watching, and that is it.